Hi, and welcome back to Arno TV. I'm your lovable host Arno, coming back to you with another video. Now, what I'm going to talk about today is, again, I've just seen something and read something that is utterly shocking. It's not only shocking, it's actually disgusting and disturbing as well, okay? And this is going on, again, in France. So let's not forget what's been going on in France recently with people like Macron pushing this draconian global security bill, which has pretty much been pushed through Parliament now. Now, I've just read something and watched something that, again, as I just said, has appalled me about something that's a story that's breaking in France. And guess what? There's not a peep or a murmur or even a tingle of this in the mainstream media whatsoever in the United Kingdom. There's a surprise. There's a surprise. Now, what I'm talking about is there's a story that's emerged that's about a music producer called Michel Zecler, okay? Now, Michel Zecler lives in Paris, okay? And he happens to be a black chap, okay? And he was walking to his music studio last weekend in Paris, and he didn't have a mask on. Now, he'd come to the attention of police because he didn't have a mask on, okay? And it's mandatory to wear them in the streets in Paris, okay? Now, bearing in mind, this guy's crime is he didn't have a mask on outside in the street, okay? What the police have done is they followed this guy to his studio and they've beaten him with truncheons, punched him in the face repeatedly, beaten him to a pulp, and then tear gassed him, okay? This is what's going on over the water in Paris, you know, and this is breaking, and nothing is being covered about this in the mainstream media in the UK whatsoever. What a surprise, eh? What a surprise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the internet and show you this shocking, disgusting, appalling video that's come to the surface in France, and I'm going to show you some of the articles on it and what people are saying about it, and then we're going to talk about what's going on, okay? So, I'm going to go over to the internet. First of all, this video that I'm going to show you is actually silent because it's actually from the security footage from the actual building where the studio is based, okay? So I don't need to turn the music down, and let's go. Okay, now bearing in mind, all this guy's done has not been wearing a mask in the street. And look at what the police do to this man. I mean, is this the behaviour of a police force from a democratic country? Shocking. Unbelievable. Look at what is going on here. This is appalling. And this, I want to say in context, is that the guy wasn't wearing a mask in the street. This is the context of this happening. Unbelievable. And what you're going to see in a moment is there are people in the music studio here that are obviously in the basement, they're in the basement and hear what's going on and come up out of the door, and the police are forced outside, okay? And bearing in mind, this guy's crime is he's not been wearing a mask in the street. This is then what happens, okay? The door's been shut, and this is what happens from the police. They tear gas the guy. They tear gas the man. You know, they're not happy with beating him to a pulp. You know, they want to tear gas him as well. Okay? So, you know, are you the type of person that's for this? Yeah? Are you the type of person that's for people being beaten and tear gassed for not wearing a mask in the street? Okay? Because this is what's going on. And this is what Macron, this is the law that Macron is pushing and is allowing, you know, and this is what's happening under. You know, I mean, this is just unbelievable. Unbelievable that we are talking about a country in 2020, not some far-flung corner of the world, where there's some, alleged despot in charge of this, country, far-flung corner of the world. We're talking about France, people. We are talking about France. This happened in Paris last weekend, okay? Now, are people starting to understand why I'm getting concerned when we've got this kind of thing going on, okay? I mean, look at the state of this guy. This was for not wearing a mask. I mean, are people not concerned by this? This is just unbelievable that this poor chap should be treated like that, It's disgusting, disgraceful, despicable that this is going on, okay? Now, let me go and read you an article from France24.com. So, obviously I will leave the video and the links in the description. I'm not going to read all of this, but I'm just going to give you an idea of what some of the media in France are reporting on this. Paris police officers suspended over brutal beating of black man. French Interior Minister Gérald Darmanin ordered the suspension on Thursday of 4 police officers involved in the brutal beating of music producer in a Paris studio over the weekend. Footage of the incident showing the police officers repeatedly punching the black man and using truncheons was posted by a news site, sparking widespread condemnation. The video clip, published by French website Loopsider, shows the violent arrest of music producer Michel Zecler in the 17th Arrondissement district of the French capital on Saturday. According to the police officers' written declarations, Zecler drew their attention because he was not wearing a mask on the street. French media reported face masks are mandatory in Paris outdoors amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, if that's the law in France that you have to wear a mask outside in Paris, that's the law in France. I accept that, okay? But I want to ask people right now, do you think somebody should be beaten half to death like that for not wearing a mask in the street, okay? Do you think that's justified? Because I don't think it is. And I think this man's treatment is appalling. The 4 officers are due to be questioned by the authorities on Friday. Darmanin said Thursday evening that he would ask for their dismissal if justified once the facts are established. The incident came as President Emmanuel Macron's government is pushing a new bill that restricts the ability to film and post videos of the police, which has prompted protests from civil rights groups and journalists concerned that it would allow police brutality to go undiscovered and unpunished. Okay, now we have heard nothing about this in the UK whatsoever. There's been no coverage of this whatsoever about these these protests that have been going on in France against this bill. And from what I can understand, it's almost been pushed through. Okay, it's practically it's been sort of almost agreed by Parliament, from what I can gather. Okay, and just remember there was no coverage either of the protests in Germany that had been going on against this draconian infection protection law, or the 9 days of protests that were going on in Denmark over the epidemic law. None of this was covered in the UK. So how long is it going to be before we see something like this law, attempted to be passed through in our Parliament? And I think we all need to keep an eye out for anything like this that comes to the UK, because this, we've seen 3 countries in Europe in the last week that have tried to push through laws on the back of the pandemic that are draconian. Okay, so we need to keep an eye out for this. And let's just have a look at what sites like Open Democracy are saying about this this global security bill. So I'm not going to read the whole article. This is referring to international protests. Okay, in this context, the filing of this law is received with concern and alarm not only by the population who violently protested over the bill in the last days, in spite of the lockdown, but also the national and international bodies that guarantee fundamental rights, while an online petition has already signed, as we write, by 90,000 people, the UN High Commission to Human Rights, the Defender of Rights, the National Consultative Commission on Human Rights, the League of Human Rights, the Journalists' National Unions, Amnesty International, Reporters Without Borders, Greenpeace, plus a collective of 65 organisations have all expressed concern about the potential threat, right to privacy, right to image, freedom of expression, press freedom, right to demonstration, represented by the Global Security Law. Okay, so are people now starting to understand why I'm concerned about what the hell is going on? Because this kind of agenda is being pushed, and this pandemic is being used to push this agenda and push all these laws through. Okay, so it's about time people started waking up. I mean, what do you guys out there think about what you've just seen? Are you all for a law that allows a poor chap like this music producer, Michel Zecler? Are you all for, someone being treated like that? In relation that they didn't wear a mask in the street and are beaten half to death and tear gas? Is that appropriate? Is that a proportion? Is that proportionate to what the guy's done? I mean, it's unbelievable that in 2020 I am on here speaking to you about this, and speaking to you about a country in Europe. In Europe. We're not talking about a far-flung corner of the world. We're talking about Paris, for God's sake. I mean, it's just unbelievable that this is going on, and this poor man is being treated like this. And apparently these officers are now, obviously under investigation, and apparently, they were racially abusing them as well, according to the reports that I've read. Okay, so if you're all for things like this, then you really are someone who is insane if you are for things like this, and you're in support of things like this. I mean, this is just unbelievable that I'm on here talking to you about things like this. And like I said, I get up every day and this is the kind of thing that I see, and people wonder why I'm concerned. Okay, so I mean, if you've enjoyed this video and you want to see more, then please like and subscribe to the channel. Once you do, please ring the notification bell so you can be notified of forthcoming videos that I'm going to put out. And there's going to be a lot more coming, like I said, a lot more coming, okay? I also have this channel replicated on BitChute as well, so if you've got time, please give me a like there as well. I'm going to be back soon with more videos for you. You can bet your bottom dollar on that. Until I do, stay safe, take care of yourselves, your friends, your family, your loved ones. As always, check in on people's mental health, because people are not in a good place right now, so make sure you check in on people. Thank you for all the support and all the new subscribers. I'll be back soon with some more videos for you. Until I am, you guys, please take care.